This is my audience.
Alright, so you're at the grocery store and you're trying to decide what foods to buy. You look at the nutrition label and the ingredients list and you can't make heads or tails of it. Well, if you want to lose weight or just start eating healthy, this could be a huge deal. Most companies try to persuade you to buy products by lying and using loopholes. I'm going to teach you some ways to tell the difference between what foods are good for you and what foods are bad for you. According to Barry Lieberman, reporter for Men's Health, Coca-Cola adds artificial sweeteners to Diet Coke to make them taste better. Coke is labeled as a calorie-free beverage. It's not because of the artificial drinks or artificial sweeteners that are put into it. Diet Coke has calories. Coke would rather pay fines than be honest to you, the consumer. According to an article by David Emery, Taco Bell has such low-grade meat that they are required by law to pay a fine. They decide to pay this fine instead of serving us regular meat. The meat Taco Bell must serve is required to have 40% fresh meat, which they don't. Instead, they have mostly wheat, soybean, and isolated oat product. When food says fat-free, it's not necessarily good for you. Just because food says fat-free, usually the fat is kind of like sucked out of it, and it usually leaves the food tasting bland. So companies load it up with sugar to make it taste good. According to Ku Leon Chen, reporter for Medline, trans fats are the worst thing you could eat. Worst thing you can eat for yourself. Most commonly and abundantly in baked goods. Labels can say trans fat free while having less than half a gram per serving size. And those companies decide how much a serving size is. So how do you tell if your food has trans fat in it, if you're eating trans fat? If you see the word hydrogenated, in the ingredients list, there is trans fat. There are a lot of foods that you wouldn't think have trans fat in them. Some include pretty much every cereal, Special K bars, and pretty much everything Special K sells. And even saltine crackers. Come here. Come here. Alright, right there, it says 0 grams of trans fat, but right there, it has hydrogenated cottonseed oil. That means it has trans fat in it. Shame on you, saltine crackers. Alright, so when you look at the ingredients list, the first item on the list is the item that was used the most. The second item on the list was the item that was used the second most. So on and so forth. When most people read the ingredients list, however, they don't even know what half the stuff is that are in the ingredients list, and they don't understand the terminology, and they get mad, and they get confused, and they buy it anyways. Well, companies, even if you do know what words are, companies have different words for the same thing. So they can, the reason they have this is so they can split it up. They can put a healthier sounding word first, so that you think that like the healthier food is the most abundant food. But for sugar, for an example, they split sugar up into several different words, so they can have sugar like 4 times added up. Here, I'll show you. Fruity Cheerios, prime example. It has whole grain corn as the first one, healthy sounding food, but right there it says sugar number 2, and then corn syrup number 4, and then down here cornstarch number, like, I don't know, 8, 10 maybe. So that's a prime example of that. And so the next time you're at the grocery store, make sure you read the ingredients list and know what you're really paying for.